If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get alerts when we introduce new videos. This video will demonstrate how to install and configure an Unleashed network in the typical installation mode using a web browser user interface. Before starting, after receiving your Unleashed AP, attach an Ethernet cable to your AP and plug it into your internet router. Then attach a power cord or plug it into a PoE-enabled switch, and then boot the AP. When the AP comes from the factory, it is in a factory reset condition. And as a note, if you're using a previous RUCKUS access point, Wave 2 or 11AX, that you've used for RUCKUS Cloud or Smart Zone, you'll need to download the Unleashed image for the relevant access point and install the new image to your AP before setting up your Unleashed network. After booting up, when the power LED is solid green and the control LED is blinking green, the AP is ready to configure. It will broadcast a configure.me SSID with the last 6 digits of the AP's MAC address. So what you want to do is connect to the configure.me network. So if I go down and take a look at my networks, here you see the configure.me, and it's got the last 6 hex digits of the access point. So we're going to connect to that. And that'll say that your connection is not private, so you want to click on Advance, and this will bring you to the Unleashed installation page. So we can select the language. What we're going to do in this case is do a typical install, and it says that this is the most typical way to install if one does not want to use the UMM. We have a separate training on how to use the UMM. If you wanted to do a local upgrade, you could tick that box, but we're going to do the typical installation, and we'll click Next. This brings me to a 5-part menu. So the first thing is my system information. It gives me the version number that I'm on. And now I'll put in a name, and I'm going to call this Awani Art Unleashed. We can't have any spaces there since I'm representing an art studio here. I will tick the mesh if I want to enable mesh automatically, which is what I want to do. Then I'll go ahead and click Next. In the typical mode, the first AP installed will become the primary or master AP. Additional APs are potential standby APs. If the master fails, one of these will take on the master function. So then I would click Next. Here I would put in the name of the SSID and a password. And we're going to call this SSID Awani Art Unleashed. There can't be any spaces, so I'll put the underspaces. The password is recommended, so we'll go ahead and put in a password here. And then we'll click Next. The admin username and the password will permit admin access to the web interface after the setup is done. So we're just going to use admin, and we'll put in a password, and then we'll verify that. Now, as a note, it says if a RUCKUS ICX switch is managed by Unleashed, then it will use the same login credentials as provided above. So the admin and password for your Unleashed administration console will also be the same for the ICX switch that you install. If I want to do password recovery, I would tick that box. And you could enter a security question and a security answer to allow you to reset your password in the event that your username or password is forgotten. I would recommend this, but because it's a demo, I'm going to skip this and untoggle that. Then we'll click Next, and this brings us to our review. So we have our system name, the internal gateway is disabled, the IP mode is DHCP, gives us the IP setting, wireless LAN, administration, admin username. If you wanted to see what the password is, you could click on Show Password, and in this case it shows the password recovery is disabled. We have mesh enabled and the system time. So that's good to go. If you wanted to change that, you could just click on the back button, but we're going to click Finish. And it says Unleashed will restart after you click OK. This will take a few minutes. Do you want to continue? So we'll click OK. So it's configuring the system settings and rebooting, and this is going to take a few minutes. And it also gives you a warning not to power off or reboot the AP, or do not refresh your browser or hit the browser's back button. So I'll just pause the recording for a while this configures itself. Okay, and after about 4 or 5 minutes, you'll get this message. Congratulations, the Unleashed master is now configured. So what should I do next? It says to connect to the Awani_Art_Unleashed SSID. Remember, that's the first one that we set up. And it says it may take a few minutes for this to appear. So we're going to wait another minute or two in order for that SSID to show up. Then, after I connect to that SSID, I'm going to log in to unleashed.ruckuswireless.com to manage it. So I'll go down to my wireless networks, and there we have it. We see Awani Art Unleashed. That's the one I want. I'm going to connect to it, and then I'm going to click on Finish. And after I click on Finish, it brings me to the admin console. So I'll type in my username and password, and that's the username and password I set up. And I'll click on Unleashed, and that brings me to my Unleashed dashboard. So we've now been successful in setting up our network. And from this point on, I can go ahead and configure my Wi-Fi networks. I can configure my access points, add switches, do my administration services, and so forth. So that's all there is to it. As you can see, setting up the Unleashed network in a typical installation mode is a very easy process to do.